and welcome to Killtocraft podcast episode 5. I'm Vanessa, I'm 28 from Yorkshire. I live with my boyfriend and my cat. I'm a crazy cat lady that loves knitting with other little hobbies such as some spinning, sewing, embroidery, cross stitch, a little bit of everything. You can find me on YouTube in the search bar as Killtocraft Podcast. You can find me on Instagram as Nessa Stardom, on Ravelry as Killtocraft, and you can now find me on Ravelry in the group section as Killtocraft Podcast. That's about our forum. And you can find all show notes on my blog at www.killtocraft.wordpress.com. Where's my head at? On today's episode I have for you a finished object and a few works in progress and some hoarding that I've been doing. 1 second. Today I would really like to thank you all, really like to thank you all, girls and guys, for watching and sharing and taking time out to even get in contact with me, whether it be private messages or on the Thought Forum or Instagram, just everywhere, and letting me know how much you've been enjoying the episodes and catching up with me, and even recommending patterns and things like that. It's unbelievably sweet and touching and kind, and I love it. I love getting to know you all, and I love interacting with everybody. We've got such a great community, and I feel like I'm already a really big part of it, and it's because of you lot, so thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Lara from the Fawn Knits podcast for mentioning me again on her podcast. She mentioned a swap that we've recently done, and she also mentioned and shared some news, not on our last podcast but the past podcast before that, about a KaL that we are doing on the forum, and it's along. I'll mention that a bit more in a second. So I wanted to say that when I do the podcast, it tends to make me a little bit nervous every single time that I do it, and usually I get really excited though when it gets near to doing the podcast, so I know that it's not nerves because I'm scared. It's nerves probably more because I know that something's gonna get messed up. So I've really compiled a lot of notes for this episode so that I'm not as nervous and don't feel like I'm messing up. I'd love to do the podcast on a more weekly schedule, but I just don't have enough time for knitting to show you, so it will stay as a fortnightly podcast, I'm afraid. However, I'm happy that you are all watching and enjoying, and that's the main thing for me, so as long as you guys are still interested, I'll keep podcasting. So if any of you out there haven't joined the Killtocraft forum yet, please go over to Ravelry and find it and join. We have a fancy and introduction thread which you can introduce yourself on, and a large number of people already have, and it's so interesting getting to know a bit about you and what your hobbies are and where you're from, or a little bit about your life. It's great, and I'm really enjoying it, so please come over and introduce yourself if you haven't already. And if that doesn't tempt you to come over, Killtocraft has finally decided to host its first ever knit along, which I'm hoping might tempt you to come over and join in. It starts today. Well, I'm doing it a bit of I'm popping up a chatter thread today, which will be to discuss patterns and yarn that you might be interested in, and get the process moving to start the KaL. So basically, it gives you a little bit of time to arrange your needs for the KaL. So buy your pattern and your yarn and things like that. So I'm going to give a good week first, but next Saturday everybody can start their projects. So I'm going to put information about that on the forum anyway, on the Killtocraft Brioche KaL. And then once it starts next Saturday, I will also post a FO thread, which will just be for pictures of your finished objects. If you could all keep that to one post per person, no matter how many projects you do, you can still edit and add more pictures in. It's just to make it fair. Trying to remember everything, but I can pop it all in on the threads so that you can read and check up any information. I'm wanting to keep the KaL open until the end of October. I think it'll be, I can't remember if it's the 23rd or 24th. It's somewhere around that date. I can't remember. But I'll pop that up as well, so it'll give you a couple of months to get the project started, and it'll also give you time, if you're doing other knit-alongs, to then pop over and start. So there's no massive rush to join, but please do. I want you to all join in. So basically, it's going to be a brioche knit-along. Brioche, and I've never done that before. It's a technique that I've looked at many a times and really excited about, and I've never tried it. And I think with it being the end of summer, coming towards autumn, not quite the end of summer, but it's getting there, and autumn will be coming soon, brioche looks like such a fun and colourful knit for a transitional project. So I thought it'd be great, and I've already pre-ordered my wool for my project. I'm going to be using the grenadine yarn that you've seen me purchase on a previous episode from Bear and Wooler from Vicky, and I've topped up and bought a few more skeins from her so that I can cast on. So I know that a lot of you might be nervous because you're all beginners, but so am I. A lot of you might be beginners in brioche, and that is fine. I am 100% a beginner, and I will be looking at information, and if any of you want to share tutorials, video or picture, I will also have a look and see what I can find, and we will share and help each other as we go. There is absolutely no reason why none of us can't help each other through the knit along, and it'll be very exciting. So please do come over, and please do pick a project and some yarn and cast on with us over at the Killtocraft forum for the knit along. It'd be great to have you. I'm going to stop saying so much. I think I've said it loads so far. I already did the podcast this morning and then found I couldn't upload it onto my computer because it was too long. So I've had to do it again today. I never seem to learn. I go through this every episode. But anyway, so I've put lots of information on the Killtocraft podcast forum for you about the knit along, and please do come over and join. I know a lot of you already, well, some of you have already come over and joined the podcast forum, and there hasn't been a lot going on, but now that we started our first KaL, that will definitely change, and I would love you to come over and start getting to know each other and chatting and sharing, so please do. So let's get on to some nitty gritty. Today I have a finished object which I am wearing. It's finished and it curls up a bit at the bottom, which is a bit of a shame, but other than that I'm really loving it. I'll show you a bit back. Can you see it? So this is my Greco sweater from Pom Pom Quarterly, summer issue 2015, and the pattern is by Courtney Spainhauer, I think it was. I knit it on my 3.5mm Dreams interchangeable circulars, which are my favourites, and I've used Rico So Soft DK colour. I think the colourways, I think they're just numbers, but grey and coral basically. I changed the pattern slightly by doing the lighter colour for the lace pattern and the plain sections in the coral. It's come out really nice. I'm super impressed with it. It's quite warm. At some point you might see that I might have to take this off because I haven't got the window open and it's getting a bit warmer as the morning goes on, and I'm sat in front of the window. But yeah, I actually really like it, and once I actually got my spurred myself on into actually finishing it, it whizzed off the needles, so I shouldn't really leave things to fester aside. I felt a bit rubbish that I'd left this for so long because I could have had it completed already. But we all learn from our mistakes, and it's actually come out really well in the end. I did block the edges, I did block the entire garment, and I wet blocked it and let it dry under the towels, but I think once you start wearing it, the edges they do start to curl back up again. So I'm really kind of glad that I put the extra length on, because it slightly curls, and if I hadn't have done and it was up as a crop top and it had curled, part of the length would have just disappeared, I think. But yeah, I love it because it's actually a t-shirt length rather than a crop top, which means I'll get tons more wear out of it because I'll wear it with my jeans and things like that. And although I love wearing dresses, I don't have a large amount, and so it will just be more wearable for me if it's longer and more of a t-shirt. So yeah, so I finished this maybe about a week ago, and I think a lot of you saw it on Instagram, and thank you for all the kind comments on it, because that was really nice. I'm actually just really besotted to have it off the needles, like really ecstatic. Not that I didn't like having it on the needles, but towards the end it did cause me a little bit of stress because I had to re-knit the top half all over again and things like that. So when I did actually finally get it off, I was like, yes, it's done, I can wear it, which I loved. I'm kind of like that with most projects, I think, but still, this one, definitely. Just sorting out my show notes, I apologise. There we go. So next up, I will show you these, and the mystery knit along is already finished, so you have the option here. If you want to look at it, you can do. If you don't want to look at it, then please just turn away, because I am going to show it, and it's mainly because I am probably one of the last people to finish. I haven't even finished yet. I will be one of the last people to probably finish this mystery knit along. This is knitted in Posh Yarn, Betsy sock, and the colour is Wink Wink. And this is the Rachel Coopy's mystery knit along. And I have got quite a lot done so far. I've been working on this mostly this week in a bid to not knit too much of another pattern that I'm doing, that I've started. And I've turned the heel and it's coming on really well. I've got 2 socks at the same point because I've been knitting them simultaneously together. With it being so complicated, I've been knitting them at the same time, so I've done one row on one sock and then I've switched to the other sock and done the row on that one, which can be a little bit of a pain, but it's working out quite well because at least they're at the same point. I'm not getting lost in the pattern, having 2 socks marked down. So, and last night I was knitting on these and I came across a part in the instruction I wasn't actually really sure about, and a lady got back to me so quickly on the Coop Knits forum. It was basically a part of the 3rd clue that said knit chart D, complete chart D, work chart E, and it told you how many decreases you were doing to a certain amount of stitches. And then it said work chart E to work 5 rows of chart E basically. And I was like, does that mean I'm doing the whole of chart E and 5 rows, or just the 5 rows? I don't think it really, I think it actually kind of confused itself a little bit by putting that, and I probably have written it slightly a different way. But thankfully somebody just 10 minutes after I'd written it popped up and said, oh no, it's just the 5 rows, and I was like, oh, it's not what I was thinking at all. So it's a good job I waited, and it's a good job I actually discussed it and found out some more information. But they're coming on really nicely. I've been concentrating on those a lot this week, mainly because last week I casted on something new. And it basically was nearly finished within a week, so I decided that I was going to put it down for a little bit so it lasted a little longer, and so I could actually show you some works in progress, because I thought it's actually really unfair of me to knit something and finish it in between the podcasts, because that meant you'd just be seeing the exact same things you've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. Not a great idea, is it? So I thought actually it gives me about a good week to work and progress on something you've seen quite often and get that moving a bit. So that's what my plan was, and I spent some time on the Coop Knit socks. Next thing I'll show you my blanket, because I haven't got a lot on it. So this is what I've got so far, and that's mainly because I don't want to have to keep I don't want to have to dip into all of my 4-ply skeins for a mini skein of yarn, and so I've just been knitting what I have. And so a lady at work gave me some sample yarn, which is this, and these 2. So I've already put those in. And I don't really want to put any more of those in for the minute, because They're okay, but they're not amazingly stunning. It's just a bit of something to add something to at the time. So I basically need to knit faster on my 4-ply. I would love to have like a decent supply of mini skeins lying around, but it's only very recent that I've actually really enjoyed working on 4-ply a lot, and so yeah, I haven't got that many. And in fact, a lot of the ones that I have on here, some of them I've had for years, like these two and this one I've had for years, and this one I've had for a good year as well. This one I've had for years, but this and this are all relatively new, and the ones that I've received from a member of staff. So yeah, I now have no mini skeins left of my own, and my suppliers run really short, unfortunately. So I've been joining in some mini swaps, one with Lara, and I'm also going to be doing one with Andre Sunit's Andy from that podcast, Andre Sunit's podcast. We've agreed to do a swap because she's just started recently doing her sock blanket as well. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll be sending her in a package next week. I've got some bits left from what I've done on here that I'd like to send her, so I'm going to do that next week and get those mini skeins prepared. So that's that. So, where was I? Sorry, I've just taken off my jumper because I was getting a bit warm, so I took like a little mini break. But yeah, so I was showing you my sock blanket, which I am. Shook the whole table. Which I am doing some mini swaps for. I might as well mention it now. I did a mini swap recently with Lara from the Foam Knits, and I got my package a week or so ago. Lara just received hers this week after a bit of trouble with the post, and she loved her package, which is great because I love mine as well. It was just so nice that she enjoyed everything. I was really happy that she did because I took a little bit of planning in that. But yeah, so Lara sent me a lovely package of mini skeins, chocolate and tea, a lot of my favourites, and something that I purchased, so they all came together. And she sent me all these lovely minis to put in my blanket, so I'll get them out because they're so nice. I love the way she's even done like little labels. I don't know if you'll be able to see, just see if I can focus the camera. So Lara's stash, and she's put like little description of where it is, what colourway, and then she's also put her Etsy, Instagram and Ravelry and WordPress information on there. So I just love the label. I think it's so nice, like with the little leaves and everything. So this is the Desert Vista Dye Works zombie decomp yarn that she's using it in her socks at the minute, which I love. I love zombies, so I'm excited to put that in my blanket. Then there's this one, which I love the rusty colours with the light blue, it's gorgeous. This is the Riverside Studio MCN. Then we have the Rain City Knits Kaleidoscope, which I think is amazing. The colours in this is just so great. And I have quite a bright blanket, so this will go brilliant in there. But me and Lara seem to have such similar taste in yarn because I love all of these. This is some Peyton's Croy. Oh, look at those autumn colours. They're beautiful. I love these. And I have some Peyton's Croy in my stash that I'm waiting to knit into socks. And then this one, which is some Koigu, which I think is stunning, and I've been wanting to knit some Koigu colourways for a while, so I'm looking forward to this one. And I just love all the speckles. Let's see, the speckles in this are amazing. So these are going to go lovely in my blanket. Let's just see if we can. These are going to go amazing in my blanket, so thank you so much, Lara. I've actually been waiting just under 2 weeks to not use these so I can show them on the podcast. It has been difficult because every time I look at them I'm like, so I want to knit one into my blanket, but I didn't want to spoil how they looked, so I waited. But that means today I get to start and put one in there. So I'm gonna have a whole Lara section in my blanket, and I can't wait because she's such a good friend and she's lovely and she deserves a good section of my blanket. So, and I can't wait to do a future slot with you, which I think we've been deciding that maybe to do one together nearer Christmas, maybe not in December, maybe the back end of November. So I'm going to be saving up some nice odd bits of fingering weight for you, Lara. She also sent me some lovely selection of teas, which I absolutely love. And I've never tried any of these, so that's great. So I've got Higgins and Burke, apple and cinnamon. Just see if I can focus the camera again. There we go. So this is Higgins and Burke, apple and cinnamon. And then I've got some Tazo chai tea, which looks amazing, which is black tea with cinnamon, cardamom, black pepper and spices. I absolutely love like licorice, cardamom flavours, so that's going to be really great. And then I've got some green ginger, which is ginger with a sweet note of pear, which is Tazo tea as well. We can't get this over in the UK, so I can't wait to try this. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. So I can't wait to try this. It's a green tea as well. It says on the back ginger and lemongrass. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be tasty. And then one of my favourites, which I've already had about 3 tea bags of, is something that Lara got on a trip to, I don't know if it's Banff or Bath, the way you pronounce it. People seem to pronounce it different ways, and I'm not sure, Lara, so I'm sorry if I butchered that. But this is like a Canadian maple syrup Earl Grey tea, and it smells amazing. Just focus back in on me, on my camera. This smells absolutely amazing. It smells like, well, maple syrup. And we were joking around because she said that obviously Canada's known for its maple syrup, and that everybody in Canada obviously loves eating it. And it made me giggle because I thought, well, there is much worse things to be recognised for. And to be honest, if my country was known for eating something that was really sweet all the time, I'd take advantage of it. I really would. I'd be eating it all the time. So those were amazing, and I'm gonna I'm going to have some more of those this week. And she's sent me a thank you card with a message on, which was lovely. And I also got her a business card because I bought something from her. Let me just see if I can zoom in on that. There we go. Which is lovely. I love her little logo. I think it's so cute. So thank you very much, Lara, for those. Such a great package, and she was joking around on a podcast this week because she showed off what I'd got her, and she was joking around at how much yarn I'd sent her, and yes, they were very ample. I basically just picked some yarn, wrapped it around a book and then skeined it up and just sent it off. I wasn't very fussy about the size at all, and I think a lot of people noticed that that they were quite big, and to be fair, I didn't realise how big they were until she showed them on her podcast, and I was like, actually they are very sizable, but I don't mind because it's Lara and she deserves plenty. And I think she'll probably make like a little bit of happiness out of some of them maybe, or there's plenty there for her to play around with. I don't mind sending large quantities at all to her, because she's a great friend. So, but yeah, and then in my package I'd bought a new project bag from Lara, which I'd been waiting for. I'd requested it as a reserved order, and so I was waiting to get paid. So this is my bag that I purchased, and it's gorgeous. It's got a little label on, and this is the streamer fabric, and it's so sturdy. It's brilliant. I absolutely love this bag. It's my favourite bag, and the stitching on it is so neat and tidy, and it's so spacious. I think this was her small project bag, and I've managed to fit a 2-skein shawl in here, so there's plenty of room. Sorry, those are my beads you can hear jingling about. So yeah, that is like my favourite project bag, mainly because, well, my friend made it and I bought one to support her because she makes such good pieces. Why wouldn't I? So in that project bag I am keeping another works of progress, which is my newest works of progress, which I mentioned last week to you that I was going to be starting. So trying to get a good section of it so I can show you it. This is my canopy shawl. This is by Mandarins Melody. I'm going to be Mandarins podcast, and I'm using Malabrigo Ario. I think it's Ario. Not 100% sure how you pronounce it. I'll just get the label. There we go, and it's the Juniper colourway. And it's this lovely red and browns, burgundy colours. I think that's quite a good representation of it. It's lovely. Actually, it's gorgeous and it knits up lovely. So yeah, and you might be able to see that, I don't know if you can, I'll just focus a bit better. You can see my beads in there. And it's come out really nice. I can't wait to get it blocked out and worn. But as you can tell, there's only 3 repeats and I'm on my 3rd repeat, and this I stopped doing on Sunday last weekend because otherwise I'd have finished it, because there's only 3 repeats and an edging in the canopy shawl. And then I decided that I was going to do I'm possibly going to do a 4th repeat, because I've got obviously so much of the second skein. So, and I've got enough beads left as well, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, it's knitted up great, and I can't wait to wear it. It's going to look amazing for autumn. Oh, it's just going to be amazing. So yeah, I'm going to add a 4th repeat onto this. But the pattern is written really well, and I love working from charts, so I enjoy doing that. I've got my washi tape marking where I am on the chart because it's movable. And yeah, I've had no issues with this pattern so far. It's amazing. It's great. So if you haven't made a canopy, I'd definitely cast one on. Am I actually in focus there? Yeah. Sorry, messing with my focus on my camera. Probably look like a right doofus. But yeah, so that's my canopy shawl. I'm also going to be doing another test knit for, I'm doing a lot of test knits recently, for Mandarines, Melody of the Mandarines podcast. She's recently put up a project that is a hat that she's been knitting, and so I've messaged her because she requested some test knitters and said that I'd happily do it for her. And so I'm going to go to my local yarn shop today to have a look for some yarn for that. You may have noticed that on Instagram I did post a picture of some yarn that I was going to use for it, which I'd actually skeined up and washed. It's this. And this is some stash yarn that I had, some old stash yarn. It's just some Serdar Eco Wool DK, and it's undyed virgin wool. And I was going to use that, but the yarn she's used seems to be a light DK, so I don't want to jinx myself with the tension. So I'm going to have a look and see if there's anything that's a little bit lighter in weight that might be easier to get tension in, because this is quite a thick. It's quite soft and squishy, where it is quite a thick DK, I think. So I'm going to pop to the shop later and see what I can find for that. Next up is hoarding. I like to hoard yarn, obviously, like all of us, and this is a skein that I treated myself to. I'm going to be knitting something out of the newest pom-pom issue, so autumn 2015. The preview came up this past week, and there was a pattern on there that's called the Oak Crest, which is an absolute gorgeous hat with cables that extend from the rip in what looks like almost leaf shapes, and they extend up to the crown, which is then a little a knot instead of a pom-pom, but you could put a pom-pom on there. I thought it was stunning and really wanted my own version, so I was having a look for worsted or Aran weight yarn and found that the Uncommon thread had got a update, and I never catch this yarn, this colourway, in the fingering weight, but I managed to catch it in the worsted weight. So this is the confetti colourway, and if I just zoom into it, you'll be able to see the blues, maybe some hints of yellow, and some little speckles of maybe purple and black in there. Some pink there, look. And it's so subtle, but so pretty. And so I decided that that's going to be for the ochre crest, which I haven't casted on yet because I haven't received my issue, but I'm really looking forward to that. So that's going to be next on my needles. So yeah, I've got a lot of things going on, so I might be casting on all of the things this next coming week. I've also made a custom order with Bear and Waller, which I mentioned earlier, for my Brioche KaL, and I'll be receiving that this week coming, so I'll be able to share those with you next time, or on the forum I'll be posting up a picture of them when I receive them, show you what I'm all using. So yeah, that's the knitting side of things that I'm up to. I also went to the seaside at the weekend. My mum purchased me a new notebook as well, which was just a little treat for a couple of pounds, and everything that she'd mentioned, oh, I'll get you something, I'll get you that, I was like, no, don't bother, Mum, it's okay, I don't need anything. And this, she kind of took it off me and went, oh, how much is it? And had a look and was like, right, I'm buying you that. And it was this cute little notebook with a cat on it. So, but I don't like using notebooks that I love a lot. Not fully anyway, so I tend to put post-it notes in, and this is like the perfect size for a post-it note. So at the minute I'm keeping my knitting notes in there on post-its, so not to ruin the book. If you have any questions, by the way, of any of my works in progress or patterns, or just in general anything that I haven't mentioned on the podcast, you can very much ask on the forum, I do not mind. I always try to make sure my show notes on my website are thorough, but you never know, I might have missed something important that you might be interested in, so just get in touch and I'll let you know. So, the next part of the podcast is what I've been doing. So, since the last episode, you noticed on Instagram that I fell down a set of concrete stairs and bruised most of my arm. Well, now you can probably see a little bit of skin that's just a little bit dry that runs up my arm. You might be able to see it, you might not, because it's faded a lot, but I had a massive blue bruise here for a good week and a big graze that ran up my arm. As I came out of the flat to go down the stairs, I misjudged and slipped with both feet and landed, trying to keep my head from hitting a stair, one of the steps. I landed funny on my arm and bruised the majority of my elbow, which was really uncomfortable. So that wasn't great, and with Will having his broken arm, he was just stood at the bottom of the stairs watching in devastation as I just plummeted through half of the staircase of concrete steps. It was horrible. I was fine, but I was really shocked, and that was just after I'd done the podcast last Saturday, a few hours later, and I was really upset. We were walking through town, and for a good 5 minutes I was like a little bit crying and shaking, but I was fine. It was just, I was very taken back by it. I haven't fallen over in years. I think the last time I fell over was on some ice a couple of winters ago, but that might have been about 5 years ago now, so it really took me for 6, and the fact that it was so bruised as well, that's like the biggest bruise I've ever had. A lot of you probably saw it on Instagram and sent me well wishes, and thank you for that. I'm now pretty much okay, as you can tell. Thank God. But yeah, I'm just glad I didn't break anything, because it would have been alright with Will with like one broken hand and me with the broken arm. We'd have looked like a right couple of invalids. But yeah, And then last weekend we visited a friend for a birthday, which turned into a bit of a fiasco, to be honest, but we went and we celebrated and we ate a lot of barbecue food, and I probably ate way too much unhealthy stuff to what I should have done, so I've made up for it this week by taking care of myself a bit, apart from last night because I had 2 donuts, but we won't talk about that. That's a secret. And then Tuesday, my parents took us to the seaside, to Scarborough, and I'm very thankful because they knew that we couldn't go anywhere with Will and his broken hand. They knew that we couldn't drive, and they knew that with it being summer, we wouldn't be able to get anywhere. And we have a classic car, and we planned to go to a retro show for the weekend, and I bought tickets for Will's birthday, but we didn't cancel them, but we had to sell them on because we couldn't make it, and it was such a waste of a birthday present, so we sold them on, and we've got now the money which we're putting towards a new exhaust because ours is broken. So that's not turned out too bad, but it was a bit disappointing. So they took us to the seaside, which was great, and I really loved that, and we did a little bit of shopping, and we walked around the promenade and went for fish and chips, and then on the walk back by the sea and the beach we went to the harbour and we enjoyed an ice cream. Mine was like just a vanilla ice cream, but it was covered in peanuts, which I've never had before. My dad told me that they were really good, and he was not wrong. I absolutely love nuts. Why I'd never tried this before is beyond me, but I think every time I go now it is going to be peanuts and ice cream because it's far superior to sprinkles and stuff for me. I absolutely loved it. In fact, it's tempting to buy nuts just to put on ice cream at home. Like, it tasted so good. And then, what else did we do? We had a walk around, we just basically went and had a relaxing day. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We just went and had a relaxing day, and it was really nice. And, well, I say relaxing, I'm used to my family walking a hell of a lot, and I'm not sure Will's so used to it. Usually we tend to have a stroll and sit down quite a bit with seafood and things like that, whereas my parents are opposite and we went and walked a lot. I'm used to that. But yeah, it was a nice day, the weather was great and we really made the most of it. I came back with a few treats, but nothing woolen. We went into a knitting shop and Will had told my parents that I won't be too long because I was a yarn snob, and that there'd be nothing in there of interest, just from what he could judge from looking at the window, which is funny. I did go in. There was one thing I'd have purchased, but I didn't have money for wool, so I decided against it this occasion. I've bought a lot of wool this month and I've pre-ordered for next month, so I should really just hold the horses with buying yarn and actually use some of it. And then last night, as I said, we did a free event at Unity Hall, which is a building that's recently been renovated. It's just around the corner from where I live, and it got shut down in the 80s, and it was a big, massive building that's basically, it used to be for, in the olden days they used to have discos and ballroom entertainment in there, and bands on and things like that, and it's got a really big capacity, and now they've renovated it with the help of like people who have put money in to have it rebuilt, and it runs under a cooperative. And we put on sometimes, I think it's 4 times a year now, because we used to do it every month and it was a bit much because we all work and things, but we now put on a 4 times a year event that's free. And last night it was a garden party, which was a summer party, which we had black lights, and we had a local music collective come in and DJ and set up lots of UV equipment, and it was pretty. And I minded the tea stall for the evening, which had tea and coffee and cake and things. So I was just sat there for the evening. After a few hours I got a little bit tired though, because I'd been at work all day, so I basically got my socks out and started knitting, which was difficult because it was hard to see, but I haven't made any mistakes, so that's okay. I could just manage to see my instructions. Thankfully the paper's white, and in a black light it shines brighter, so I can see my charts clearly. But yeah, that was good, but I was really tired and I had to leave a bit earlier because I had a busy day yesterday and at work, and then I had to come home, cook tea, and then straight away go there, and that finished at midnight. I think I left at about just turned 11, so absolutely shattered. And I was up at 6 this morning because the cat woke me up again. It's not very thoughtful. It's a good job I love him. But yeah, I had another thing that I wanted to discuss with you, which also related to forum news. The possible idea of using, I know a lot of forums tend to have the chat room open on the Ravelry groups, but nobody necessarily uses them. Now, I was hoping some of you might like to use our forum chat room and have a meetup. Sorry, one second. And have a meetup in there. Not all the time, but on odd occasions, and I will post up a date previously with a time, and we could meet up and chatter on there about anything and everything, and just socialise and get to know each other. This is totally up to you if you would like to. So leave some, either whether it's on the episode thread today or wherever. I'd love to hear your feedback on whether you'd like that. I just think it'd be nice to get to know each other a hell of a lot better. And if we even had a few people on there, it'd be great just to have a chatter and see what each other are up to, whether projects are sharing things, especially with us having the knit along coming along. If you have anything to share or any questions to ask that somebody in the group might know, then it's such a good way to just chatter and get to know each other and share that information. And it doesn't have to be long, it could just be for an hour, but it's still nice to get to know each other and have that one-to-one, backwards and forwards, more quick, responsive chatting. And I thought it might be nice, so just a bit of feedback on that really, before I go any further with that idea. And I will also have a question for you this week, which is do you like visiting seasides? Because our friends, my friends particularly love seasides, but Will's friends, some of them aren't so keen. I find this really odd. So I was wondering what you think to seasides. Let me know, because well, it's really an interesting topic. Why don't you like a seaside? I find it really odd. But yeah, I'd really like to know whether you all like visiting seasides and things like that. So yeah, and then I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but with the knit along, I haven't at the minute got any giveaway options for the end of the knit along. So if I'd just like to basically ask kindly if any designers or makers or fibre artists or anything like that would like to donate anything to the knit along for a giveaway, to please get in touch, or even if it's a pattern you'd like to give away or anything like that, it'd be very much grateful. It's kind and it promotes, and I would love to help support you as well as support the knitters of the knit along. So, and it gives a lot of encouragement, and it also, it's just lovely, and I know there's a lot of kind makers out there and creators that will probably love to participate. So just let me know anyway. PM me on Ravelry if you are interested. I think that's all for today. So I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time, and I will see you on the Killtocraft forum for the knit along. See you later. Bye.